We good to go?
Yeah.
I'm Jake.
I'm Pierce.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Raphael.
And we are AB and Bev, and this is our case study. Alright, so a little history on our company. They started in 1852 as the Bavarian Brewery in St. Louis. After 8 years, Eberhard Anheuser bought out the company, investors, shareholders, all of that. And they turned it into Anheuser Co. And then they came into a little bit of a rough patch during Prohibition. They sold sodas and other non-alcoholic beverages. Then after World War II is when their business really took off. They increased beer production from 3 million barrels a year to 34 million barrels. And then their mission statement is extremely long, so to kind of cut it down and say a couple of the key points. We strive to be the best. They pursue their dream by committing to improve people's lives. They primarily focus on farm to brewery and then to market. They take pride in every step of the process from the beginning to the end. And then they really focus on crafting their beer from natural ingredients. Like with their current advertising campaign, they focus on they don't use corn syrup compared to their competitors of Miller Coors with Coors Light. And then their vision statement. There are no shortcuts. We believe in taking responsibility and owning results. They never want to be satisfied. They're always looking to improve. And they're trying to achieve their dream of creating a better world through their beer industry, helping with green initiatives and all of that.
All right, so starting with improving profitability. So first we have global expansion, and this has been one of AB and Bev's kind of best areas of their company recently. The revenue in the U.S. is down 0.7%. So contrary to that, the global revenue has gone up 4.8%. So you can see the difference in revenues there. The main drivers are Budweiser, Stella Artois, is that
Artois.
and Corona. They've done so well globally. Stella Artois and Corona have made the biggest jumps with 12.8% and 19.9% in 2017, and they both did that in that same year. With global expansion, it seems that market penetration will continue to be a strong option for Anheuser-Busch as they continue to make jumps like that. With their high-end products, they posted a revenue growth of 18.3%, which was very impressive as well, and their innovation group, ZX Ventures, delivered 10% of the company's top-line growth as well. And as they focus on craft and specialty brands, they continue to give double-digit growth as well. And focus on innovation. So they really want to focus on sustainability, allowing themselves to make good beers for hundreds of years. And in March of 2018, they did that when they launched their 2025 sustainability goals. To them, they think they can do that for the next 100 years. So the other sustainability thing they're doing is ZX Ventures. It was established in 2015, and their whole goal is to focus on craft beers, e-commerce sales, and home brewing. And they also have an innovation lab in Silicon Valley that's called Beer Garage, and they are trying to research and connect systems such as AI, blockchain, and VR.
All right, so the next section is strong production and operations. Currently, they operate in 30 breweries in North America, not Korea. Okay. 35 beverage plants in Latin America and 50 production facilities in Asia. And in 2018 worldwide, they produced over 560 million hectoliters of products, which led any other beer company in the industry. Go ahead and click for me. And then the next part of their production operations, a big initiative they're going towards is going green, trying to be better on the environment and helping that way. So they started converting wasted alcohol from their low and no alcoholic beverage beers into biofuel. And biofuel, an example of that is how BP is trying to turn algae into energy. And then alcohol from 85 cans of beer can produce 1 liter of that biofuel. And then in 2012, they began their production sustainability project by committing to remove 100,000 metric tons of their wasted packaging material worldwide. And I believe actually they hit it. I'll have to go into further that on the final presentation, but.
All right, so being an alcohol company, there are stringent advertising regulations that need to be followed. Many regulations have been set on alcohol advertisements. Ads now cannot fuel any type of binge drinking. There can't be the image that people are getting really messed up, doing crazy stuff, and the alcohol company has to be able to balance the aspect of fun and safety when it comes to their products. Ads related to children, driving, or alcohol abuse have been banned, and Europe was actually one of the places where the most regulations and bans had occurred because they had the most leeway on their alcohol advertisements, and it ended up causing some problems. And the advertising placement standard requires 70% of the audience viewing this commercial or advertisement to be 21 years or older. So if you are advertising, you have to have a specific target audience or use a specific channel of media to advertise this product to make sure that you're not hitting too young of an age group and you're hitting the target market every time.
So another external factor that has been affected AB InBev's operations is the growth of the craft beer industry. And in articles you can find, they call it the craft brewery revolution, and it started in different times around the world. This is a global trend. In Europe, it's estimated to have started around the 80s, while here in the US around in the 60s. And yeah, the craft beer industry has grown by a factor of 6 since from the period of time from 2008 until 2016, and the number of workers in this industry grew 100%, 120% in the same period of time. So what is a craft brewery exactly? It's all about the size. They have to be a small brewery, they have to be independent, and they have to use traditional ingredients. So the small size refers, they can produce over 6 million barrels of beer annually. Independent, no more than 25% of the company can be owned by another brewery or alcohol beverage related company. And the use of traditional ingredients, the beer always should have water, malt, yeast, and that's it. So what caused this revolution, this craft beer revolution? First of all was the customer behavior. The customers now have more income, what grows their purchase power, and because of that, the customers are now seeking new and exclusive beer flavors. Technology and capital. There's a lot of new technology in the production of beer, as well as a lot of investment groups and funds. They are investing in this industry since it has generated some really good money. And finally, regulation. The alcohol market has a lot of regulations, and taxations and stuff really help the governments. So that has helped the craft beer industry to grow. So what has AB InBev done towards that? They have diversified their portfolio. Now they are now investing in spirit drinks, for example, and mergers. The company has been buying different alcohol beverage drinks to penetrate different markets and expand and develop the markets they already are part of.
So for the competitive nature of beer companies, Anheuser-Busch has a lot of different competitors. Big competitors include Molson Coors Brewing Company and Asahi Brewing. These companies are brewing similar products, making it hard to separate from competition. Like Raphael was saying in the last slide, Anheuser-Busch needs to put themselves in a position where they can create new products and adapt with markets or be able to penetrate into different kinds of markets with different kinds of products to make sure that they're keeping up with whatever their competition is trying to create. And the company thrives by making new products to compete with other companies. Some of these include light beers, craft beers, wine, and other products that they've been working on now.
All right, so starting our financial analysis, we're going to start out with our 2018 financial highlights. AB InBev is comprised of 6 different geographical regions. We have North America, Latin America West, Latin America North, Latin America South, South Africa, and EMEA or Asia Pacific. In 2018, some of the key highlights we have that our consolidated revenue grew 4.7% from 2017 to this year of 2018. And then our net profit actually increased from $3,331 million to $3,605 million this past year as well.
Yeah, so growth and profitability. Gross revenue grew from 39.374 to 54.619 from 2012 to 2018. Pretty significant jump. Shows how impressive they are in that category. With gross profit, is steadily increased from 58.695 to about 62.723. Also shows how impressive they are at turning revenue or $1 of revenue into profit and allowing them to increase that gross profit margin. With net income and its relationship to ROA, they've started out both high in 2012, 2014, and kind of steadily dropped, and that has a pretty steadily relationship because net income is part of the ROA's equation. And then I think for them to focus on more growth and more profitability, I think they should focus on emerging markets, global markets, high-end products for that same success.
So for liquidity, we're basically analyzing with only one ratio, which is the current ratio. And as of now, the current ratio is 0.53. That means that AB InBev has 53 cents of dollar in current assets to pay every $1 of current liability they have. And we can see here in the table that from 2016 to 2018, this ratio has almost gone half, has almost been cut in half. And the main reason for that, it's because AB InBev bought SABMiller in 2016 when they recorded the highest current ratio, and that can be really attributed to their cash. Before acquiring the company, they have 43.061 billion in cash in 2018, and now they only have 18.281 billion. So that's the main part of the equation which caused this ratio to drop. And comparing to their biggest competitor, Miller Coors had a current ratio of 0.69 in 2016, again almost half of what we had, and then they kept a 64 for 2017 and 18, which is pretty close to what we have. But if you compare to the alcoholic beverage industry average in the same period of time, we are way lower. The lowest one they recorded was 1.72, which is still way higher than our highest number.
All right, next we have activity ratios. These financial ratios is basically, it shows and measures a company's ability to convert different accounts within its balance sheet into cash or sales. Comparing it to its competitor Miller Coors, AB InBev had a 0.23 asset turnover ratio compared to Coors, which had a 0.37, and then as well as inventory turnover, AB InBev was a 5.1 compared to Miller Coors at 11.13. And then this table here shows you the different turnover ratios since the year of 2012. Both of them are pretty consistent. You see that AB InBev has slowly dropped to the end numbers at 0.23 and 5.01.
All right. So, to start, the company's leverage is the debt of a company compared to the assets and equity that it has, and this also describes how much of the company's assets belong to the stockholders and how much of the company's assets belong to a company's creditors. The debt equity ratio you can see right here has continuously dropped from in 2016, and it was at a 0.033. In 2017, a 0.032, and in 2018, a 0.028, and that's actually a good thing. Usually, a drop in debt equity ratio can show financial stability. So that means that less of their money is going to be held by their creditors.